SkinnyGPanda here, and today I have a review video for you. So some of you may not know, but I am currently pregnant and expecting a little hiker in October. I'm really stoked for it and excited to have a little hiker join Dragon Roams and I's family. And over the course of time during this pregnancy, I have been looking at some products as it relates to hiking and backpacking on the trail when pregnant. One of the products that I have been doing a lot of research on and things of that nature is reusable pads. I know it may sound silly, but one of the normal, typical type of situation that you run across when being pregnant or being physically active is leakage. It happens, it's normal, it's very typical, but if you are someone who is highly active, or if you are like me, who is currently pregnant, you may experience some leakage down there, whether your bladder may drop or you just don't have the ability to hold it like you used to, basically. So having some leakage down below is a typical situation that you may run into. Being on the trail, after like 4 or 5 miles on a hiking trip, if I sneeze and accidentally leak in my underwear, it could be a little uncomfortable. By the time I get to where I need to rest to change it, or odor-wise, by the time I get to the car. I've been using some products as it relates to the leakage, such as panty liners or your everyday pads, just to help give more of a barrier so it doesn't go into my underwear. Being a hiker, you do standardly pack in and pack out. That's one of your everyday rules as it relates to being a hiker. And I have noticed over the last couple of months that what I've been hiking out as I use these pads, the waste seems to accumulate quite a bit. So I got to thinking there must be like a more sustainable way, maybe something reusable to use, where I could save some money and save some waste. So I did some research, pulled up some reusable pads that I found online. It's by a company called Real Organic Reusable Pads. And today we are basically going to take a look at that pad that I got in the mail. We're going to compare it to the pads that I've been taking on the trail and see if it really can hold up to what it basically stands for, and that is absorbing the leakage that sometimes happens when you're on the trail or in the car or just in your everyday lifestyle. Again, it is normal, it's typical, and it's something not a lot of us talk about, but today we're going to review this product, talk about it more in depth, and I'm hoping this product works. So let's dive in deep to these reusable pads. All right, here are the products that I'm going to be comparing to. So what I have here is I have an organic panty liner. This is what I typically take on the trail just as my overall feminine hygiene. It basically helps to keep me fresh down there, and any types of leakage or whatnot, this is my go-to. So it is a very thin, just a simple panty liner that I basically put in when I'm on the trail. This is more of a thicker type pad. This is your regular basic overnight heavy period pad. I definitely wanted to bring out one of these just to see how much they absorb, to do the comparison to the reusable pads. Now, the reusable pads that I did get is from this company. It's called Real Organic. It's cotton reusable pads, and it is specifically for bladder leaks. So you definitely do not want to use these for the monthly menstruation cycle that you may typically get. But for bladder leaks, this is definitely something that you can use. I did get the regular size. They do have a number of different sizes depending on the length and how much coverage you want for the bladder leaks. I just went with a standard regular. So this pack did come just like this in the mail. It is nice, packaging, pretty simple to the point. It's definitely not distracting. When you open these up, there are 3, so I did get a set of 3. Again, these are the regular kind, so this is what they look like. You do get a direction thing. I usually just throw them off to the side. But this is what it looks like. It does look pretty big. I did, when I was buying these online, I did take out a measuring tape during this, pandemic and COVID. My measuring tape and online shopping has definitely been hand in hand. So I did measure my current underwear that I use on the trail to try to figure out what size would be doable. This regular is the best size. It's not too big and it's not too small, and it is just about the same size. So this is my panty liner, and this is the product that I got. So it looks like the actual line, like the absorbent in the panty liner, does exactly match the absorbent that is in the reusable pad. This is probably just the added barrier for extra coverage, just to make sure it doesn't leak outside of this area. So they definitely are very size comparison. They do feel pretty thick, as you can see here. There we go for my camera to focus. So I am expecting this to have a pretty good absorbency as it comes to the leakage. And this is the snap that it comes with. So you basically put your underwear on, you put this in your underwear, and then you just snap it in place when you are on the go. So this is going to be your front area, and the larger side is going to be your back area. So we got the reusable pad, which is pretty thick. The heavy overnight pad, which is really thick. It's actually thicker than the reusable pad. And then we have your simple panty liner over here. I do have some water here, and I was basically just going to pour some water. I am paying attention to the ounces. So this is a 4-ounce cup. I'm going to pour the water on and see how many ounces each of these can absorb before it ends up seeping through or going around your outside of the barrier and basically ends up being like you're going to pee your pants type spray. So first here we are going to take your simple everyday panty liner, and I'm going to try to pour the water here. So it immediately soaks through. I'm trying to get like at least, okay, so I did get at least an ounce. So an ounce, yeah, it goes right through. So I'm going to say about a 1/2 ounce of water is what your typical panty liner is going to hold. It doesn't actually go through. It does feel like it's going to push the panty liner a little over the edge, but probably about 1 tablespoon of leakage is what your standard panty liner is going to hold. For comparison to that, I would probably say about a sneeze. You sneeze and you have a little bit of dribble, your panty liner is going to absorb that for you, but you're probably going to want to get rid of that panty liner and get a new one just in case you end up sneezing again. So about 1 tablespoon is how much your standard panty liner is going to handle. Moving to the reusable pad, I'm hoping to get at least 2 ounces of water to go through here. So we're going to start in the middle, and looking at it, looks like it immediately wanted to go to the side there. I'm going to try to get this over here just a little bit more. There we go. So it did immediately bubble up. It didn't absorb, it just bubbled up on there. And even as I'm trying to push it in, it's still like bubbling up. It's not really going into the pad. So really gotta throw it on. Really gotta try to push it in there. So I don't know if you could see that. Let me see if I could zoom in on here. So I did just pour the water in there, and it's just sitting on the pad. It is not absorbing it at all. It is just sitting right on the pad. So for me, if I was to have an accident in my pants, I would feel very uncomfortable right now with this product. It doesn't seem to be, as I'm letting it sit there, it doesn't seem to be absorbing at all into this pad. So I would feel, if I had this on right now and I did have some leakage, I would feel like it would be very uncomfortable. It basically like I'm sitting in a pool of my pee. I know that sounds horrible, but yes, I'm moving it around here. I don't know if you could see the water there. Moving it around here, just trying to get it, and look, it's just bubbling up. I cannot, for the life of me, get this pad to absorb the water without pushing it in. Let me try in the back here to show you guys. See what I mean? It just bubbles up on here, and then it just sits there in a pool. It is not absorbing at all. So definitely unsure about this product right now. Let me actually read those directions to see if I was supposed to do anything. So directions, how to fold the pad and how to wash it. There is nothing about having to pre-do anything to these, and the water is just sitting on this reusable pad. It is not absorbing at all into the pad. I'm going to go over here to the actual just everyday use pad, and I'm going to just same thing. I'm gonna put the water. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. The water is immediately getting absorbed. That was 1 ounce of water. It immediately absorbed into the pad. It's not coming off of there at all. It's just sitting there, absorbed fine. It didn't even seep through at all. Where this one, I've had it sitting there for a while. Look at all that water. It is not absorbing any. I mean, some of the water that I pushed into it here is absorbing, but if I go like this, that water is just coming right out of the pad. So if I'm moving around with these reusable pads, that could be an issue. Where in here, pushing down, it's not going anywhere. It like really absorbed that water. So these products, I'm unsure if I'm gonna actually use this. I mean, I may still go on a trail and actually try to use this pad and see, maybe even at home, and come back to you guys and give you guys a little bit of an update. But right now, I do not feel very comfortable about these real organic cotton reusable pads. I don't feel like they're going to absorb when I have an accident down there. And if I do have an accident, I feel like I'm going to be sitting in the wetness until this decides to actually absorb it, or if this decides to spill over the edge and basically go into my underwear and my pants, which defeats the whole purpose of me wanting this product. And as I'm sitting here playing with it, the backside did end up seeping through. So the water that I poured here, that I was like pressing into the pad to try to get it to absorb, immediately went through to the other side. So it is definitely wet, and that was 1 ounce of water. So 1 ounce of water on these, not so good. 1 ounce of water in your standard everyday wastable pad did an awesome job. And then the panty liner. So altogether for the rating, I would give the panty liner, it's standard, 5, it's 50-50. It's not going to hold much for you. You are going to have to take more panty liners with you, because as you have an accident, you are going to have to remove it and put a new one on. The standard pad is definitely a 10 out of 10. This is highly recommended. It does absorb your leakage really well. There's no It doesn't break the barrier at all, and it's not moving around in there. So having to change out the pad as often, depending on how many times you are having any leakage, this is definitely a good one. This product, I'm going to give it a 1 right now. I mean, it's a nice concept. I really was looking forward to this concept of having a reusable pad, but just with the water test alone, it definitely did not hold up at all. But I hope you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions on this product, please feel free to let me know down below, and I'll be happy to answer them. And in the description, I will put the link to this product and the price, just in case you guys want to go out and purchase it yourself and maybe test it out. Maybe it'll be different for you than it is for me, but right now definitely do not feel comfortable with this product. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.